This is Vicki Jervickas of the Greater Gainesville Chamber, and I'm the Director of Public Policy and Grassroots Engagement. I'm delighted to be joined today by Mildred Russell, one of our candidates for the school board, District 2. And Mildred's going to tell us a little bit about herself and what's important to her for the upcoming elections. So jump right in, Mildred, and then we'll have a few questions for her.
Okay, thank you, Vicki, for hosting this. I'm thanking the Chamber as well. I am Mildred Russell. I have lived here in Gainesville for 40 years. So my children grew up here. My husband and I have been involved in ministry, in mentoring different groups of people for different things, of course, that are Christian related. We have traveled overseas quite a bit. My husband's main ministry has been to Southeast Asia, but now he's doing a lot of Zoom. So like I said, our kids grew up here. I homeschooled them, our son until junior year where he was dual enrolled, and our daughter until she went to high school at Buchholz. And so they, of course, are grown now and have done very well. So I have tutored in the community, especially at Duval, when it was Duval Elementary. My kids also tutored with me. And we sort of were a homeroom family to the kindergarten classes there for a while. So we've had fun ministering out into the community in various ways. And I look forward to continuing that on the school board.
Very good. Okay, let's jump in and delve into some other of the issues. So the first question I have for you is, what do you perceive are the most important concerns facing our school district right now?
Well, there are so many, honestly, and it's very sad. But I think the two that I'm most concerned about that tie in together are, of course, everybody knows that our district grades were not good this year. We did not have an overall improvement. That was very disappointing. Our district even got downgraded to a B, which is not a bad grade, but we have been an A district. Moody's downgraded us. So we are in a bad place right now as far as producing, being able to recommend ourselves as a good school district. I think there are two reasons for that. One, we haven't focused on student outcomes that prepare them for the future. And that ties into the behavioral issues. A teacher cannot teach his or her class if it's being continually disrupted by bad behavior. So I have looked into some potential solutions for these problems at A. Quinn Jones, which is our alternative school and center for behavioral issues, has done a great job of taking these young children, young people, our students, helping them face their challenges and overcome their challenges and send them back to their own school. I think it's wonderful. They're doing a great job. So I've requested a workshop for the board to look into this and see if there are ways we can implement their program into our public schools. But I firmly believe that it is not right to let behavioral problems continue. We should not be worried about how many referrals we write. We should not be worried about skin color. If a child is misbehaving, there are underlying issues. And if we care about that student, we will try to help him or her discover what's promoting and provoking this behavior and help him overcome that. And then he can go back to the classroom, because the teacher can't teach, the classmates can't learn if we, for whatever reason, fail to discipline children who need it out of love, out of care. Don't see it as a punitive thing. See it as a way to help them overcome and change into a productive student.
Very good. Okay, the next question is, what is the role of the school board in our community, in your opinion?
What is the role?
Role of the school board.
Okay, I'm sorry. The role of the school board is to improve student outcomes. We deal with policy, of course, we deal with the budget. All of that should be with the view to improve student outcomes. There are, of course, basic things we have to deal with, such as the code of conduct and the dress code and, you know, whatever. What do you do if a child is sick? There's all that, and that's our responsibility. But mainly, our main outcome is to improve student outcomes. I mean, our main mission is. And if we're not focused on that, then we are not doing our job. If we are not finding ways to improve the opportunity gap, to close that gap, if we're not finding ways for career and technical students to have a path to a career for them, if we're not encouraging our most gifted children and providing for them to soar and to excel, and if we're not providing for our struggling students to do better and to overcome and to catch up and to have a hope for their future, if we're not doing that, then we're not doing our job.
Very good. The third question ties back a little bit to the first question and gives you an opportunity to be a little more detailed. What would be your top priorities and projects if you're back in office in August?
Well, of course, always it's about the students. And so we have some things I believe are hindering excellence in learning. We have overcrowded schools, we have underpopulated schools, and we have an opportunity gap. So for the opportunity gap, in our public schools this past year, we had 10 voluntary pre-kindergarten programs in 10 schools. We saw the statistics from that a couple of weeks ago, and they were so impressive. One school hardly improved, one improved somewhat. The majority of them improved 100%, and that was on the greater than expected scale. They all met greater than expected. They scored there, so that works. And so this year we're adding 3 volunteer PKs at schools, and it's my goal to advocate for 1 in every elementary school, because these kids then are ready. They go to their own school, and then they're ready to enter kindergarten, and they're not behind like they would be if they didn't attend. So I'm very much in favor of that because we've seen that it works. Another thing that works is our hippie program, which doesn't mean flower children. Right. It means it's home instruction for parents of preschool youngsters. That's why it's called hippie. Mm-hmm. And so we take a family and work with them in their home. We give them curriculum, we give them instruction, and they teach their children. Then these are preschool children. And then they are ready to go into kindergarten. We work with parents, of course, who really just need help with their children, need help. They need to know what to do. Unfortunately, we can only take so many families. I believe we had 50 this past year. I would love to see that expanded. We need funding for that. So I want to encourage, we have a new grant writer, and I want to encourage that person to look for ways to expand that hippie program because it works. And so I'm about looking and seeing, is someone doing something that works or has at least a starting solution to the problems we have? And I go with that. So those are 2 I found for the opportunity gap. And then, like I said, a workshop for behavioral issues also, because I believe we can make great changes there that help our students, and that causes them to be excellent students and to be prepared for their future.
Very good. The fourth question is, there has been significant turmoil in the district and within the school board itself. How do you think that's best addressed?
Now, I'm not sure about the board. I really wish that we could work together better. We have 3 months to do something for our children, and if we would focus on that rather than what our differences are, I really honestly believe that in 3 months we could do some positive things. The school year is going to start in just a few days, and of course we've been working on transportation, and our director of transportation has come up with some ideas and rescheduling and changing routes so that we won't be as big a crunch as we were last year. That's unacceptable. So, and I think the board's willing to work together on that. I don't mean willing like we're unwilling to work together. They're just underlying things. I don't know. But I think a new board will be able to come together and perhaps starting fresh, because so many of us will be new, that I think we can learn to work together, learn to look at things together, because, well, it'll be like a fresh start. It will be a fresh start for the board. And I think that that will be good for the community. It will be good for the district and its administration of education. Since I've been on the board, I have been able to do a couple of things that improve the climate of the board by having a chairman who respects all board members. And Mr. Hyatt has proved that he does, and has been very good at chairing meetings and letting everyone have their say. And then the other thing, we changed superintendents, which has improved the culture and the climate at the district tremendously. People are just freer and happier. Those are two good things. Now that those are behind us, when we get a new board, then we can really focus on things like zoning, like helping the overpopulated and underpopulated schools somehow or another find a solution and be financially accountable. We really need to be financially accountable, because there are ways, I believe, within the district itself that we can save money so that we can improve some schools and build a new school. For instance, Hawthorne needs a new school, high, middle school, and maybe even elementary. So there are some things like that that are really on my heart to do, to especially all of those things will improve, because if we have a safe and clean and healthy learning environment, then children are better able to focus and to learn. But the basic things I think the school board should do, our main role is in improving student outcomes, is to teach the core basics of education: reading, writing, arithmetic, history, civics, all the sciences, the STEAM, the STEM, and those subjects. That's our job. We aren't to help them discover their values and lifestyles. We are about educating them for their future so that they will be happy and successful adults, which benefits them, it benefits our community, and then right on out. So.
Very good. All right, well, that kind of leads perfectly into the final question, which is one of these big wrap-up questions, which is, why should members of the business community vote for you?
Okay, because our students are our future. They are future leaders. They are our future workforce. Some will go into business and be entrepreneurs. Some will do the career technical type of support systems, which we all need. We need a variety. We need people at every level in every business. And our role that will help the community is properly educating these students. They need to first be able to fill out a job application. They need to know the basics of the career that they're going into, and we can lay a foundation for them so that if they want to go on to college, they have a solid foundation. If they want to go into some other career and follow a CT career, IT, whatever, they will have the foundation for that and will be able to make that transition successfully and become productive members of our community. They will work for our business owners, or they will become business owners and employ other people, but they will be able to successfully serve our community and successfully be productive citizens. And that's my heart for these children, that they go through our schools, they get a proper education, they leave, and then they are contributing to the success of our community because they are excellent workers. And that makes a happy society.
Very good. Okay, now you have a few minutes. If there's anything else that you wanted to add from what you said, or something new, or just summarize and take us home.
Okay, thank you, Vicki. I'm about taking action. The board has done a lot of talking, and we have to talk, and we have to have workshops to receive information. But one thing that's been frustrating to me as a board member is that it takes a long time to do a lot of things. And I know there are processes. We have to follow processes. We have to notice things. We cannot talk to each other about anything unless we're in a public meeting. I'm okay with that. I think sometimes that maybe we need to have more workshops so that we can get more things done and in a quicker fashion. So I am about taking action. Once we know we have a problem, I'm for let's look for a solution that works so that we can learn about that and then go ahead and implement it in our schools. And even if we have to adjust policies or whatever in the school year, it's a process, yes, but we can do it. And we can find what works best for our students and their teachers, and whatever it takes, get it done. But don't just talk. I'm about finding solutions and then taking action. We need to be an active, a proactive board, and that will include being in the schools, being in food services or transportation or wherever it is to learn what we need to do to make things work smoothly. I'm okay with that, but we just need to be a proactive board that does more than, I don't know, wring our hands. And I don't mean any disrespect to the current board. I'm on the current board, but I believe we need a little more zeal and energy toward fixing our problems. I want our kids to get a world-class education. And so whatever that takes, we need to be pursuing that. And that's what I'm about, because that is good for our community. That's good for our society. When everyone is able to work and be productive, whatever career path that is, then we have a good community and we have a good society. So that's what I am about.
Fantastic. Okay. So I wanted to emphasize that again, that our primary is Tuesday, August 23rd at the Greater Gainesville Chamber. We are all about people getting out and voting. Make your voice heard. Please visit our website. We will have a lot of information about our candidates and about all of the various venues they've gone to and all the ways we've gotten to know them better. So please get educated and then get out and vote. Mildred, thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you,
Good luck on the rest of the campaign.
Thank you very much.